Hi guys, welcome to my classroom. My name is Christine and today we will be covering my personal top 10 useful English expressions. So when you're having a conversation with your friends or your coworkers, a lot of times in English we use expressions or phrases that do not necessarily use the literal meaning of the phrase, but what a societal view of what those phrases mean. Some of them are idioms, some of them are not. I'm going to explain them to you and also situations of when you should be using them. So let's get right into it. So the first one I have up here is call it a day. So a lot of times you can use this with your classmates. So I'm going to write here just for you guys when you review. So you can use this with classmates, you can use this with coworkers, you can use this with almost anybody that you have a relatively close relationship with. So let's say you had a very tough day at work. You're working until 10 o'clock at night and you finally finished your big project. And so you're talking to your coworkers who are also working late right now and you just want to go home, or maybe you guys just want to grab a drink to celebrate. And so you want to call it a day. When you call it a day, it means that this day is finished, let's go move on, let's go home, or let's get a drink. So the day is over and now you want to move on. So this is pretty much what it means. Let's make the day be over and let's move on. So if you want to use it in a sentence, you can tell your friend Joe, Joe, let's call it a day and grab a drink. Okay, so let's move on to the next expression. Next expression is get a foot in the door. So this actually sometimes is coming from the literal phrase of get your foot in the door. So what you do when you put your foot in a door, it can't close, right? You're preventing the door from being closed. And so you put your foot there. This is a not great drawing of a foot and a door, but I'm trying my best. So you put your foot in the door so it can't close. And so what does that mean? It means that you are trying to prevent an opportunity from being closed to you. So, for example, maybe you want to work at Google, and so you found out from your friend that Google is hiring an intern. And even though you have 3 years of experience working, you feel like if you apply for that intern position because you feel like you can get it, then you can at least get a foot in the door. You can go after that opportunity, and then after doing well at that internship, you can then get a full-time position there. So applying for that internship will get you a foot in the door, will get you the opportunity to work at Google. So just remember, putting your foot in the door, you're preventing an opportunity from being closed to you, just like you're preventing a door from being closed with your foot. So, next expression is beat around the bush. So, what this means literally is that you have a bush. So, here's a bush. There's some flowers on it, so we can know it's a bush. And you are hitting at it. You are beating at it with a stick. This is a stick. So what this literally means is that you're hitting a bush. And so when we use this in English, when you're beating around the bush, is that you're not directly hitting the subject that you're talking about. So let's say your friend is dating someone and you have never talked to your friend about this new boyfriend that they have. And so you just keep asking them, as opposed to saying, who is your new boyfriend? You might say, so are you meeting anyone on Friday? Instead of asking them, are you meeting your boyfriend on Friday? So instead of directly asking about the boyfriend, you are beating around the bush. You are asking indirect questions as opposed to directly asking. So that's beating around the bush because you're not hitting this flower directly. You're kind of just hitting around the bush. You're not hitting the direct target. So that's what beating around the bush means. So I have another expression over here, which is get on one's nerves. A lot of Americans use this phrase. You can change it up a bit depending on what you're talking about, but to get on one's nerves or to get on your nerves means you're annoyed. So everyone knows that you have nerves. This is kind of like what's in your body to make you feel things. If someone gets on your nerves, it means you're annoyed. You're upset. They're bothering you. So let's say your friend keeps complaining about the same thing every day. They're getting on your nerves. And so you can say to your other friend, man, that friend is always complaining about the same thing every day. They're really getting on my nerves. So you can change ones to my, excuse me, while this marker works. You can change this to my, you can change this to your, you can change this to anyone's. You can change it to John's. You can change it to anyone, so you can say, get on my nerves, get on your nerves, get on John's nerves. So this is a very commonly used American expression whenever you want to express that you're annoyed. So I have number 5. It's my 2 cents. My 2 cents means an opinion. So when you're using this in a sentence, you want to say, well, my 2 cents is that I think we should go to the movie theater. So we all know that 2 cents means 2 cents. So here's 2 coins. In the US, that's 2 pennies. So it just means it's kind of your contribution to the conversation. It's your 2 cents. And so instead of saying what my opinion is that you would say my 2 cents is that we should go to the movie theater. So these are my top 5 expressions. If you guys feel like you're ready, I would like to move on to the next top 5 that I have. I know that it might be getting a little bit confusing right now with a lot of expressions, but I hope you guys are taking notes because we use these a lot in our conversations when we're talking in America. So my next expression is it's a long story. So when you're telling some of your friends maybe what happened yesterday, and you kind of want to tell them what's going on, but it was so complicated that you don't really want to get into the details, you would just say, it's a long story, which means, legitimately means it's a long story. This one is a little more straightforward to use, so if you feel like something happened that's a little bit crazy and a little complicated to tell your friends, you can pretty much just tell them, it's a long story, and leave it at that. However, if your boss asked you, what happened to this project, why didn't you do well, and you just told him, it's a long story, it might not work so well for you, so don't use that with your boss. So try to use this one just with your friends. So let's put a star right here to use this more with your friends or with your family, because you don't really want to use this with your boss when you're talking about work. So this one's a fun one. This one, number 7, is nature calls. This one means that you have to go to the bathroom. So I am going to draw a little toilet here for you guys to be reminded of what this means. When nature calls, that means you have to go to the bathroom. It's a little bit of a nicer way of telling your friends that you need to use the bathroom instead of saying, I need to pee. You can just say, nature calls, and all Americans will understand that means you need to go and do your business and go use the bathroom. So that's number 7. Moving on to number 8 is under the weather. So when you would use number 8 when you're not feeling well or someone else is not feeling well. And so this has to do with health. And so when someone is under the weather, that means they are sick. It doesn't really explain what kind of sickness it is. Oftentimes it is a cold or a flu, so sneezing, coughing, but it's not specific. But under the weather means that you are not doing well, and so you're feeling sick. And so so you're sad. It's not a very happy expression, but when you say someone is under the weather, you can say, I'm feeling under the weather. That means you're feeling sick, or you feel like you might have a cold, but it's not specific. So remember that. It doesn't say you have a cold specifically. It just means you're feeling sick. Or you can say, John is feeling under the weather when they tell you they're not feeling well. Number 9, throw in the towel. So this one is an idiom right here. So let my marker work. I'm drawing here a towel. So you literally are not throwing in a towel, but what this does mean is that this is a reference actually to sports, to boxing. And so when you throw in the towel, that means you're giving up. And so when you use this in a conversation in America, let's say you've been working really hard studying for a class, and then it's the last day before your exam, and you realize you're not going to be able to learn everything in time. So you tell your friends, I am throwing in the towel, I give up, I'm not studying anymore. So that is when you can use it. Also, this is not really an expression probably to use with your boss, because your boss does not want to hear that you are giving up. So try to keep this with your friends. Also, so do not tell your boss that you are throwing in the towel if you feel like the project is hard. Just tell him that you're working hard. So you do not want to use this with your boss. So try to use this again. I'm putting a star here. I hope you guys can see this. This is a star to use for your friends and family. So do not use this with your boss. So my last expression, we've made it all the way to my top 10, is rise and shine. So rise and shine is what you usually use in the mornings when you wake up or when someone is waking up. And it literally means to rise up, maybe like the sun or also yourself. So to rise and shine. So it's a new day. This marker will work, I promise. So it's a new day. It does not need to literally be shining outside. The sun doesn't need to be shining, but this is what it's referencing to. So rise and shine means to welcome the new day, wake up, be happy, and start the day. So a lot of Americans also use this. You'll see this in TV and in movies. They'll say, rise and shine. It's time to wake up. So these are my top 10 expressions. I know it was a lot, guys. So you may need to watch this a couple of times just to really understand what these expressions mean and to figure out when you should use them. I tried my best to give you guys some situations when to use them, but honestly, best thing to do is to use them in conversations and see where that takes you. I think a lot of I would say 100% of Americans would understand these expressions. So when you use them correctly, they will let you know. So just remember to use them and to keep practicing, because that's the best way to learn English. So I hope you guys enjoyed my top 10 expressions. I'm hoping to bring some more to you guys as we create more videos. But if you guys liked what you saw or didn't like what you see, in these videos, just keep on subscribing. So click up here. There's going to be a subscribe button around here. So click up here. And if you want to see any of my other videos teaching you guys English or some useful tips, then click up here. There's going to be some links around here. And so thank you guys again. It's been really great teaching you guys, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!